So, testing, 1, 2, 3. We're all here. It's Monday, it's chapter 14. This is take 2. We're listening to the album Miracles from Two Steps from Hell. Actually, it's a pretty good band. You can find them on YouTube, and this is their album Miracles. If you want their albums, I think you go on Amazon. I don't know. I got them a very long time ago. Anyway, we're on chapter 14. Yes, 14 of Reaper Adventures to Search. And this is take 2. Don't bring your kids. It's really not kid friendly. I mean, there's no mature scenes like sex scenes or curse words, except for when I blurt out a curse word, because, yeah, screw all this takes and stuff. But, no, it's not mature for that reason. It is mature for the fact there is the mentions of self-harm, there is the after scene of slasher movie violence, which is just blood everywhere. I don't know where that came from, but we'll go with it. And there's the scene of murder by the serial killer, there's the scene of murder by the demon, there's the scene of abuse, and there's the scene of torture, so you can continue at your own risk. We're trying chapter 14 again, and it's Monday. So let's try this over again. Yay! I just cleaned up a lot of space, so hopefully this thing doesn't decide to be a pain in the butt. What in the butt? Anyway. So this has no type of violence. It's just training with spiritual energy and shopping expedition. And it is kind of long, but no violence. Just a little bit longer. So anyway, chapter 14, let us continue once again. Yay! Payne woke the next morning and looked around, slowly remembering where he was. Payne put his feet on the floor and stood up, making sure the blanket wouldn't trip him. The smell of coffee drew Payne into what Payne assumed was the main area of the small home. Now I really am stumbling over stuff. We'll try to go a little slower. You are awake, Nathaniel commented as he poured 2 cups of coffee. Coffee is the nectar of the gods. Anyone who argues is never actually ever going to be a fan of coffee. Not happily, Payne mumbled as Nathaniel put the cup of extra coffee with some sugar and creamer on the side. Payne put 2 scoops of sugar in his coffee and a little creamer as well before taking a grateful sip. Because like I said before, coffee is the nectar of the gods. Payne looked at Nathaniel and noticed one major detail he hadn't noticed last night. Nathaniel's eyes were sewn shut. Nathaniel seemed to be able to see, though, and Payne realized that he was staring at the expertly done stitches that would guarantee that Nathaniel's eyes would never be able to see again. That's gotta suck. Is it my eyes? Nathaniel asked, snapping Payne to the present. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to stare. Payne apologized, trying not to continue to stare at Nathaniel's eyes. Nathaniel was silent, knowing Payne was trying not to stare at his permanently closed eyes. It is understandable. Not many individuals have seen someone with their eyes sewn shut, Nathaniel said. Payne was now staring at the wooden table. How was your coffee? Nathaniel questioned, changing the subject before it was brought up again. We'll have to add that, but okay. It's really good, thank you, Payne responded, taking another sip of his coffee. After Nathaniel and Payne ate breakfast, Nathaniel began training Payne after reassuring Payne that they would not be discovered. That would seriously be the last thing that Payne would want, considering the fact he just escaped. So, during training, Payne attempted to tap into his spiritual energy and failed multiple times to do so without flying back and staring at the winter sky, dazed and mildly angry with himself for being unable to accomplish the most crucial part of his training. Wow, my hair really is getting long. I need another trim anyway. Whoa. It's getting in my eyes. Oh no. Wait, here we go. There we go. Sorry. Had adjustments to make with that. Anyway, continuing. Night fell and Payne staggered inside Nathaniel's home, sore from his failed attempts in tapping into his spiritual energy. Payne knew Nathaniel would continue training Payne tomorrow. Nathaniel and Payne ate some supper, which was when Payne learned that even though Nathaniel's eyes were sewn shut, Nathaniel was somehow still able to see as if he didn't have his eyes sewn shut. Actually, that sounds mildly confusing. I can understand the confusion. Yeah, anyway, Payne asked this question, and after a lengthy silence, Payne was about to apologize for asking, when Nathaniel gave a nonverbal answer of shrugging his shoulders. Payne closed his mouth and then gratefully went to bed and almost instantly fell asleep. Nathaniel went to his small room and rummaged through his clothing. None of them suited Payne's current clothing choice. Nathaniel closed his dresser drawers after he realized this and sighed. He detested going to Jeromeson's Mall, but Payne couldn't wear a torn and bloody hoodie and jeans that had been ripped in his desperate fleeing. His shoes weren't in the best condition either. One of the soles was almost blown out, and that makes it very difficult to walk because you tend to trip over the blown out sole when your shoe soles blow out. Anyway, Nathaniel had noticed Payne studying it and poking a finger through the hole with a frown. Nathaniel mumbled something incomprehensible under his breath when he realized that Payne getting clothing, as well as some type of bath, was required. Nathaniel looked at his wallet, counted the money inside, and frowned. He had been hoping he wouldn't have enough to go shopping tomorrow, because actually some people don't like shopping. I, for one, do not like shopping unless I am in the mood to go shopping. If I am not, I detest the public. It's a me thing. Anyway, unfortunately, Nathaniel had more than enough money to go shopping tomorrow. Nathaniel picked out an outfit that he knew would let him blend in with the people. Morning came along, and Nathaniel prepared some hot water, breakfast, and coffee, because coffee, and that's all the explanation needed. This is not coffee, this is soda. Soda. Payne emerged from the room when the coffee was finished. If you're a true coffee fan, you always wake up to the smell of coffee. Yeah, unless you're in a really, really deep sleep. Nathaniel let Payne make his coffee to his liking and gave Payne breakfast. I don't know where my cat is right now. Anyway, Payne noticed what Nathaniel was wearing and became confused. Are you going somewhere? Payne questioned, sudden nervousness making his voice slightly higher pitched than normal. We are going shopping. There is hot water being prepared for you to wash yourself, and then you will be accompanying. I gotta say it slowly, but usually I can say it pretty quick, so this is confusing. Accompanying me to the mall in Jeromeson so you can get clothing and shoes. I don't know why I'm saying that word so slowly and stumbling over it when I say it fast. Anyway, Nathaniel told Payne, so you can get clothing and shoes. Nathaniel told Payne. What? Payne asked with confusion. Nathaniel looked at Payne. I will not object if you do not wish to go. I rather despise going to Jeromeson's Mall, Nathaniel said with a dismissive shrug. New clothing and shoes sounds awesome, Payne stated. Nathaniel didn't look pleased by this, and Payne wondered if he should tell Nathaniel to not worry about it. Not to worry about it. There we go, thank you. I suppose you'll have to get ready then. Nathaniel sighed and then took a sip of his coffee. Payne couldn't help his sudden excitement as Nathaniel helped him prepare the shower, which was hot water in a container that had an awesome shower head attached to it. Payne gratefully washed himself and the dried blood off of him. He washed his hair as well as his body and entered the shower just before the water was emptied. Payne dried himself off, brushed his hair, and changed into the spare clothing Nathaniel had let him borrow for the day. That's a kind of a long sentence. Almost a tongue twister there. Almost. Not quite. Not as bad as the word accompanying me. Hey, I said it! Anyway. Continuing. Nathaniel handed Payne a spare winter coat, hat, scarf, and gloves. Payne took them and put them on after putting on his basically destroyed shoes. They were headed to Jeromeson then, and Payne realized just how easy it was to get lost in these woods if you had no idea where you were. They reached Jeromeson's Mall, and Payne felt relief, excitement, and sudden childish glee race through him. Payne raced towards the mall, felt his foot slip on ice, and then fell, his hand stopping his face from hitting the sidewalk. Payne felt his face turn red, and he lay down on the sidewalk, knowing that people had just seen Payne make a fool of himself. Payne heard Nathaniel's footsteps stop next to him. "You should watch your step next time," Nathaniel said as he crouched down beside a humiliated Payne. "That's awesome. I'll keep it in mind," Payne mumbled, feeling his ears turn... "I think that was my kitten," Payne mumbled, feeling his ears turn red as well. "While I'm keeping that in mind, I'm going to be a puddle," Payne said, knowing he wasn't imagining the small, quiet laughter around him. Payne was sure that not all of the laughter was directed at him, but his personal humiliation made him think that everyone was currently staring, pointing, and laughing at him. Nathaniel was silent. "Well, I will not interrupt this process," Nathaniel finally said as he straightened himself and headed away from Jeromeson's mall. "Excuse me," I burped. Payne heard Nathaniel's footsteps heading away from the front door, blinked and looked up to see Nathaniel walking away. "I swear I can speak English, just right now I'm not too English fluent." "Ugh." "Wait," Payne called as he sat up. Nathaniel stopped in his tracks and looked at Payne over his shoulder. "We're not going inside?" Payne asked, confused. "You said you were going to be a puddle, and I despise leaving my home even for my haircut," Nathaniel said with indifference as he began to walk away again. "Wait, I'm done being a puddle," Payne stated as he carefully got up, because he doesn't want to slip on the ice again and add to the personal humiliation even more. Gotta be embarrassing for a teenager. Embarrassing for anyone, really. Payne stated as he carefully got up. Nathaniel had once again halted and was studying Payne over his shoulder. After a short pause, Nathaniel turned around and walked towards Payne. Payne followed Nathaniel inside, doing his best to contain his excitement so he wouldn't feel the need to want to be a puddle again. I had to redo the damn thing because it decided they wanted to reach its limit, so... Yeah, this is take 2.
3.
No.
Did you practice today?
Shut up. After shopping at Payne's favorite shop, Spikes and Chains, Payne's friend insisted Payne and Nathaniel join him at his mom's for dinner, reminding Payne to belch after the meal. Payne explained why to Nathaniel after Nathaniel had reluctantly given in to Raven's persistence. Soda. Nathaniel and Payne arrived at Raven's mom's home, and Nathaniel realized just who Raven's mom was when she entered the living room. Raven's mom was Nathaniel's hairstylist, Contessa. Mind you, she's really good with the shoe.
Need a refill on your whiskey?
It's not whiskey, it's soda. It is soda! If it was whiskey, I would be stumbling more over my words. Now screw it. Contessa saw Nathaniel and took off her shoe. Raven instantly ducked as Contessa's shoe hit Nathaniel on his head. Contessa's uncanny accuracy allowing her shoe to do this as Nathaniel attempted to dodge Contessa's flying shoe. I'm just imagining a shoe sprouting wings and hitting someone in the head. Payne looked at Contessa with confusion and stepped away as Contessa stalked over to Nathaniel, another shoe mysteriously in her hand. Oh no. Oh no! The case of the mystery shoe. Uh-oh! You never showed up to your appointment, Contessa shouted, speaking in Italian, and then whacked Nathaniel in the head with the mystery shoe. Sorry, Nathaniel said, wondering where she had gotten the other shoe and why it actually hurt. It's been 2 years since you came to your appointment, Contessa exclaimed, still speaking in Italian. She smacked Nathaniel with the shoe again. Sorry, Nathaniel apologized again. Contessa pointed the shoe at Nathaniel, and Nathaniel flinched. I mean, she did just hit him with the shoe 3 times, so yeah. You found a new hairstylist, didn't you, Nathaniel? Contessa accused. What? No. I haven't found a hairstylist. You know how much I hate going outside my home, Nathaniel reminded Contessa. Contessa glared at Nathaniel, scowling at him, and then grabbed a section of Nathaniel's hair. She glanced at the ends and apparently was satisfied by the fact that Nathaniel was telling the truth. 2 years. 2 years. What was I supposed to think? However, your dead ends say that you were telling the truth. You have not seen another hairstylist, Contessa said as she let go of Nathaniel's hair. If you always think that your hairstylist doesn't know when you find someone new, you're sadly mistaken. The dead ends tell the truth. Not that I'm a hairstylist myself, but I did have a very good hairstylist. And I bet she always knew, because dead ends tell the truth. Anyway, moving on. She let go of Nathaniel's hair. She picked up the original shoe, put it on, and then hit Nathaniel in the chest with the mystery shoe. Ow! What was that for? Nathaniel asked, rubbing his sternum as Contessa put the mystery shoe on her other foot. Because I can, and you have not made your appointments in 2 years, Contessa explained as she walked away. You're getting a haircut tonight, Contessa said. I am all right, Nathaniel objected. Contessa removed one of her shoes again. I am all right with that. Haircut sounds wonderful, Nathaniel said quickly. He really didn't feel like getting hit in the head with a shoe again. I can't say I blame him. Actually, that sounds kind of painful. Depending on the shoe, that could knock you out, depending on the shoe. Anyway, Contessa studied Nathaniel with narrowed eyes and put her shoe back on. After dinner, and receiving a belch from her son, Payne, and even Nathaniel, who instantly had a hand clapped over his mouth so he wouldn't apologize, Contessa began to cut Nathaniel's hair. After asking permission from Nathaniel to actually cut his hair instead of trimming it, and getting reluctant permission. Wow. I may have caught a cold. That would suck. Anyway, after getting reluctant permission to do this, Contessa began to cut and style Nathaniel's hair in earnest. Her one-sided conversation became excited, and Nathaniel seriously hoped that it wouldn't be too short. You have been holding that bag close all night, Contessa had commented when she noticed Nathaniel was still holding the bag that was from her son's workplace, Spikes and Chains, which is a version of Hot Topic in this little fictional place. Anyway, Hot Topic's my favorite. It's the only place I go shopping when I'm not in the mood to go shopping because it's Hot Topic. Anyway. Moving on. Nathaniel was silent, but his grip grew slightly tighter around the bag. Who was it for? Contessa asked, automatically assuming that Nathaniel had finally found some woman who would be very lucky to have him. If she weren't still technically married to her absent husband, Contessa would kill the lucky lady and marry Nathaniel herself. There are some people who do that, I think. We're just gonna say yes? Yeah, that's what we're gonna say. Anyway, your son's friend. His birthday was 11 days ago, and he has every reason to celebrate. Nathaniel reluctantly replied. Contessa made a sound to let Nathaniel know that she thought it was sweet of him to get Raven's friend a birthday present, even if it was late. You're going to make some woman very lucky and make a wonderful husband and father, Contessa said, meaning every word. Nathaniel tried his best to not get up and leave. There's a reason he has that reaction, and there's a reason he represses that reaction. Anyway, Contessa noticed Nathaniel tense slightly and looked at him with concern and confusion. Nathaniel forced himself to relax and said, Nothing, I do. This thing is still continuing with one. Contessa continued cutting Nathaniel's hair and resumed a different topic of conversation. Nathaniel was more than slightly happy when Contessa was finished. After showing him his new hairstyle, which he was surprised he liked, Nathaniel and Payne left and eventually arrived at Nathaniel's home. Thanks for today, Payne told Nathaniel with a smile. Your new haircut looks awesome, too, Payne said in a groggy voice. Nathaniel realized that Payne was exhausted. Get some rest, Nathaniel said. Payne didn't argue and went to the room, pulled the covers over his body, and almost instantly fell asleep. Nathaniel looked at the late birthday gift for Payne and sighed as he decided to wait until tomorrow to give Payne the bracelet Payne had apparently always wanted. And that is the end of Chapter 14. Chapter 15 is next week. I have some accounts if any of you are all interested. There are some different variations of some stories like this one on my Wattpad account, which is at Tempesta771. There's a variation of Reaper Adventures called Fallen Ascension. We'll get into that later. I have a TikTok account, which I have to add more videos onto. It's under the name at AirJunCraven2. no uppercases, no spaces, and just look for also a name, Tempesta Braveheart. I have an Instagram account which has only 2 pictures. I gotta add more. Under the name Tempesta Braveheart, no uppercases, no spaces. Under the name Airton Craven, which is my Facebook. But if I don't know you, don't friend request, because if I don't know you, I won't accept said friend request. It's a me thing, not a you thing. I have a Snapchat account, which is Airton Craven, no uppercases, no spaces, and you're watching my YouTube, which is Tempesta Braveheart. Anyway, time for soda, which is just soda. That's the end of chapter 14. We'll go on to chapter 15 next week, so peace out, Girl Scouts, and enjoy the mental hilarity.